You ready? Everyone's ready? Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David Baruch Hashem. And we'll continue at Mitzvah Hashem with Siyata Shmai, of course. Hilchos Tzizit, we're in Halachos Zayin, and we're in the middle of letter Ches, 8. We stopped in the middle, and we ended yesterday where it says, Hainu, ki ayedei zeh shmoinim, Shemainim Oisam, Ayedei Eshkolim Noisim B'Shvil HaKomas HaMishkan. You had the place, David? Yeah, we had the place. Okay. So we said that. So now the fact that we are gonna count the Jews, right? That we are gonna count that, but we're not gonna count the Jews by themselves. We're gonna actually count the Shkolim, right? Shemainim Oisam Ayedei Eshkolim. We count the Jews based on that. We count the funds, the money that each Yid gave, his machzas a shekel that he gave, but we don't actually count the Yid himself, right? You understand the difference? Notice we count, you understand what's going on here? We count the money, we don't count the Jews themselves. We don't count the people. We count the money. The shehu bechinas hakamas hatfila, because we said that that's the whole idea, is us establishing tefillah. What does it mean establishing tefillah? We use the machzas hashekel, the silver we use for the adonim. Remember we said yesterday, the adonim that supported the amuda, right? They were the posts that were sitting into the adonim, and the adonim were the machzas hashekel. The machzas hashekel was a half coin that each Jew gave. All of that silver was kept, and all of that silver was smelted, and they made the adonim from those silver, right? We understand that, right? We made the adonim from that silver. They kept all of that silver together, and they smelted the metal to make the adonim. And we said yesterday, ki beisi beis tefillah. Remember we said yesterday, ki beisi beis tefillah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's house is a house of tefillah, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu's house is a house of prayer. That's what the HaKadosh Baruch Hu's house is, a house of prayer. Ki beisi beis tefillah. Okay? Shekol habatim hamerubim miyoid nivnin ayedei teisvis nafshais Yisrael, because all of these houses that we keep talking about, the factorial calculation of the batim, the houses, these stones that known as batim. Okay, and these numbers, these exponential numbers that we come up with. Okay, how do you do that? Because you do that. Because we add more Jews. More Jews are added into the equation. The more Jews that are added into the equation, we saw so beautifully how the numbers become more and more exponential by adding one more person as the number goes up, especially, right? As the number goes up, you see the numbers they're just numbers that we can't even fathom these numbers, right? Kulam kilulim b'mishkan ubeis hamigdash shekolul mikol batei atfila. All of those numbers, and all of the building of the Beis Hamikdash, the building of the Mishkan, the building of the Beis Hamikdash, happened through this idea with Jews getting together, with the Achdus. We had the Achdus. That was the whole point we keep talking about here. The main thing is not to have payment, right? We said yesterday that Esav had 6 nefashos, right? But Yaakov was shivim nefesh. Right, Yaakov Avinu was teaching us that we have to be one, nefesh. We have to be one. We can't be separate. It's not for me and for you and you and you. No, we are all one. We have one cause. We are one people. That's why Yaakov Avinu, we learned yesterday, Yaakov Avinu didn't want to have any party, daven to Hashem, not to have any part of Kairach. Remember, he said Ben Levi, but doesn't go back to Ben Yaakov. It didn't go back to him. He didn't want it because Yaakov Avinu's whole principle was that we have to have achdus. We have to be one. Shivim nafesh yodim. So I was 70, but we were 70, but we were one. That's the most important thing. Okay, now. So in other words, because we may not seem that we are many in number when you look at the amount of people, but the power that we create by having the Achdus, we are more powerful and more in numbers than the entire world. Right? That's what we learn, right? We become, in other words, when you have together 1,000 Jews, we have more numbers than every person in the entire world. Our numbers have become that much more powerful. And therefore the Sitra Achra, he has no control. You see this? Isn't this amazing? Go look. He can't. In other words, the secret to our success is Achdus. That's the secret to our success. When we have Achdus, we can overcome any challenge of any people anywhere in the world, anything, because we have our exponential numbers using the factorial accounting that we figured out. Okay, makes sense? Any question? You want to ask any questions? Any comments? No.
I just keep thinking about the huge separation. It's annoying. It's bothering me.
What separation?
The protesters.
Well, that's what we have to daven.
Hashem must be really crying up there.
But that's the whole idea. That's right. So that's why we're learning how important it is to have the Achdus, and therefore it's upon us to daven that we can have Achdus, that we can have Shalom. And I keep telling you that you come here and you bless our community each day with Shalom. Right? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's not a small thing. Okay. Okay. Now, Machmas Oitzim Ribuyam Shehem Merubim Harbe Miminyan Yisrael B'Pshitas. In other words, there are many more than we are. In other words, the other side's many more. Right? You say there's 2 billion Indians and Chinese, and there's so many of them. Right? There's a how many Arabs are there in the world? They say there's 1 billion of them or something. Who knows? I don't even know how many of them there are. Who cares?
They're small in number.
Exactly, because we said once we have 6 Jews, what was the number? We came to 6 billion. Remember, the 7 Jew was 7 billion or something, right? Just with 7 Jews.
The factorial?
In the factorial, yeah.
620. 620 times 120 times 6. 720.
No. When we do,
I got the
he'll show you the chart. He'll show you the chart. He writes in Merubim Harbe Meminyan Yisrael B'Pshitas Ki Ata Yedei Ashkolim Shenosnu B'Shvil HaMishkan. Because now the fact that we gave the shkolim, then we gave those shkolim, we gave them what? For the Mishkan. We gave them to build the Mishkan, but not just to build the Mishkan. It was to for the Adonim. And what were the Adonim? The Adonim were actually this foundation in the Mishkan. It wasn't the fact that we just gave a donation, and maybe hard for us to understand that today. Today you just make a financial contribution to a shul, to an organization. You give some money. You don't know what they're going to use it for. Here the money was specifically earmarked. These shkolim were specifically earmarked to become the Adonim. And every Jew understood that. They understood when they were giving their machzos a shekel, this was going to be part of the foundation of the Mishkan. It's not a small tad. This is a very, very important thing. B'shvil HaMishkan shu beis ha'tefillah. Because the whole thing, like we say, ki beisi beis tefillah, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that my house is a house of prayer. My house is a place to come to daven. That's what the Mishkan is. Aydei zeh kol hanefoshes misyachtin u'mitztarfen yachad b'chinas ribei atzerufim. And so through again coming to the base to the Mishkan, coming to the base of Mikdash Shemitz Hashem speedily in our day, that we'll be able to do that. Or now when we come to a shul and we keep adding more people and we make these tzirufim, we make these different formations. We make these different formations of these calculations of the numbers. Shekol ma'ashen is v'asef nefesh misrabim hatzerufim b'li shir. Because each time you add one more nefesh into the equation, right? Shekol ma'ashen is v'asef nefesh. You take one more nefesh. You add one more nefesh. Look at this. Hatzerufim b'li shir. It comes b'li shir. Kamavoy le'al ba'ais u'b'hilchas peri yeribya. Ber Inyan Ayin Sham Ad Chatzirufim Shel Sheish Meas Elef Nafshes Ein Hape Yochel Ledaber Valev Lachshay. So in other words, when we were at Har Sinai, and we were 603,550 people, right? We were all together, and we all took upon us to be Leiv Echad, Ki'ish Echad B'Leiv Echad. What does it say? Right? We were on Har Sinai. How were we? Ki'ish Echad B'Leiv Echad. Right? We were one person. We were 603,550, but we were one. We were one. That was the key. That was the key. We were one. We were one, and that's the whole point. So by us becoming one, that number of the 603,550, that number, could you imagine, Rav Mordechai, could you tell us what 603,550 number, what that kind of number that is? It's a crazy number, right?
It's around the factorial of 9, between 9 and 10. For 6 it's 720, for 7 it's 5,040. And so you multiply by 8, it's about 40,000. Multiply by 9, it's 450,000. So 450,000 is the factorial of 9, approximately. And 10 would be...
I don't know, I'm not sure exactly how to do this thing here, so I'm working on it.
Well, Rabbi Nachman says that it's something that ein hapeh yochel ledaber. You can't speak. It's something I can't describe. In other words, it's not a number that we can actually can write. V'alev lachshav, and I can't even in my heart, I can't even comprehend what such a thing is. I can't comprehend what such an exponential number is. What is it? It's something so huge. It's something so enormous. I can't have any.
Yeah, the factorial of 603,000.
The factorial of 10 is 3,628,800.
Of 10.
Of 10.
Now you do 11, who knows? And then 12, oh my goodness, right? Unbelievable, right?
The factorial?
So it's like 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times
You keep multiplying it back. You keep multiplying it back.
That's what factorial is. It's
Right, but give me 20 seconds, I'll walk you through it. 1 times 2 is 2, times 3 is 6.
no, you do it the other way.
It's
It's backwards.
the same thing, doesn't matter.
You can do it for...
All right.
It was the same way. 1 times 2 is 2, times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, times 5 is 120, times 6 is 720, times 7 is 5,040, times 8 is 40,000 something. 8
It
times
doesn't
8
work
times
that
5,000
way.
40,000.
No, it's
That's not
more.
what
It goes,
factorial is.
no, that's not factorial.
It doesn't go that
It
way.
goes much bigger. It's much bigger.
You start at the top, the higher number.
And you go
And you go
down, and you
down.
keep multiplying down.
It works the other way. It's
No, it
multiplication. Yeah.
No, because you
That's
take...
all right. Well, I'll see. Let's see.
Okay. Either way, okay. Listen, the Rebbe is telling us here, "Ein hapeh yochel ledaber v'alev lachshav." Let's keep it like that, okay?
Well, it's true because it's the factorial of 603,055 is. We got to 10, we got to 450,000.
There we go. Okay. Kamuban lema'ayin b'cheshbon. If you're going to try to be ma'ayin in such a cheshbon, v'azai bevadei kol hashivim ha'akum. Therefore, the 70 nations, with all of their numbers, right? They can take all their census and they can send in all of their census, right, from every nation in the world. The UN can do that, right? All those doodle heads are sitting there, right? Yeah, I call them doodle heads, right? They're all doodle heads. That's mamish what they all are. Every single one of them. That's the capital of the doodle heads is that stupid building in the city, right? Unbelievable. They are. Well, wait, is it not true? They're supposed to take care of the world, but all they know to do is talk about Israel. That's the only thing they know to do. They're mamish doodle heads. You know those.
They know how to doodle.
You know those doodle heads, those bobbleheads. You know they just
bobblehead,
float.
yeah.
The bobbleheads, the doodle heads, right? That's all they are. That's a bunch of idiots. They're mamish idiots. I'm going to get flack for that, but I couldn't care less. Anyway. Yeah, people send me all kind of messages.
Well, can you do Lashon Hara on Arabs?
There's no such a thing. Only Lashon Hara on
On
Jews.
Jews, yeah.
That's all.
All right, so the doodle heads.
Right? That's it. That's all. That's all. Okay, anyway. The Rebbe is saying, as I bevadei kol hashivim akim isbatlim, they are just nullified. All of them. And those, when we have the concept of achdus, when we are one, they just fall aside. They're nothing. They're mamish nothing. Because we become so strong. We become so strong. They just fall away. They mamish just fall away. Unbelievable. You know, I always keep him, whenever I learn this, I remember about my friend Yehuda Dafna that said he was one of the guys that came to the old city. He was one of the guys that came to the old city. He went through Shah Yaffa, and the Jordanians were there. He said they had more weapons and they had more artillery, they had more ammunition than all of Israel had altogether. Right in the old city, they had more there than all of the Chayalim and everyone had everywhere through Israel. He said when they came together, they said Shema Yisrael because they had no idea. They thought they were going to be done. They got commanded they have to go in. They have to go in to they're taking over the old city and they're going to get the kotel. He said when they came in as a group, the Jordanians just left. They fled. They didn't fire one shot. Here you see it. This is what it is because they came in ish echad belev echad. They came in as one group, and you see they just scattered. And
then we said, "Wait, don't go. Come back. We can live together."
Yeah, okay. That's the other guy said. Yeah, okay. Please. We're focusing on the good. I'm just showing you. No.
But that has to be good too, because it's from Hashem.
Okay. No. But here we're showing the achdus when we stand as one. They know they're cooked. They know they're done, and they just leave. They just scatter. When we have separation amongst us, and that's why they keep trying to do this. What's the whole world's business if we have a judicial thing? Who tells anyone in the world, which other country is going to tell any other country how you're going to do your judicial system?
And it's
Where?
probably in Hebrew, they couldn't even read it. They don't even know what's it.
Shemitztafim b'tzirufim. Shayidei hashkolim shenosnu b'shvil tikun botei atfila. But when we take these shkolim, and then these shkolim that we gave, they weren't just plain shkolim. These we gave to establish our base tefillah. We established to build the foundation for the Mishkan. This is what it was. It's something special. Mom, is something so special. So each Jew gave an equal parcel. Each and every Jew gave their equal parcel. What was the significance of giving the equal parcel? So everyone felt equal. Everyone, mamish, felt equal to their, and everyone felt important. Every single Yid felt important because each Jew was able to add to that number so exponentially. Each Jew, I gave the first shekel, but even though my first shekel, the first one that I gave, wasn't a big number, but if I didn't give my one, you couldn't get to the two, and if I couldn't get to the two, you couldn't get to the three. So that makes it follow suit to all the numbers.
So the half shekel house actually gets smaller and smaller.
Of course. No, it was a half a shekel, exactly. They were all machzas a shekel.
As it becomes 1/2, then 1/4, then 1/8, 1/16, it becomes smaller and
Yeah.
Especially each time.
Yeah. Anyway, so you understand here what's going on. And therefore the other side has no koyach to make any opposition. They can't have any opposition to us because we're so powerful. Because Kikol ribuyam shel ha'akam. Because the big numbers of the akam nechshavim ka'ayin the ke'efes neged oitzim ribay abatim shel Yisrael. Because yes, they are so many in numbers. Yes, there are so many. And they'll sit there and they'll say, we have so many votes and we have so many votes and we have so many people and so many people. So what? But you're all individuals. You're all each for yourself. You're all each for yourself. Each country is for themselves. Each person in the country is for themselves. They're not looking out for the best interest of the people. They're not one unit. And that's what we keep trying to understand. The Reb Nosson is trying to drive this point home to us, how important the Achdus really is. How important it is, because when we are together, we're unified. And I never saw it explained better by anybody. This is so practical. Reb Nosson is placing it here so practical for us to understand the importance of the unity that we have amongst ourselves. And when the Kahanim are giving, when the Kahanim are giving their blessings, they have to understand that bracha of shalom to have in mind, to make shalom in Klal Yisrael, take away all of that separation, take away all of the separation, all of those blocks that are causing us to be separated. Bring us all back together in a peaceful way, because like you said yesterday, Mordechai, when there's a war, everyone knows how to get together. And everyone does their right thing. Of course, we know that. But when you give your blessing, and all the Kahanim, how beautiful they give their blessings, when they're giving those blessings, they have in mind to please give us the Shalom Hashem and spare us from the war. Spare us from the war. Let's have that unity. Let us have that same unity just in peaceful times, in peace. And I don't have to be at war. Chas v'shalom, we don't have to put anyone's life, chas v'shalom, at risk. Unbelievable. I mean, to me, this is so beautiful. You want to say anything on it? Do you agree with this? Yeah. It's mamish an amazing thing.
Hillel Missy should have said on 1 foot. Hillel.
Yeah.
They said, love your brother. No. The Torah is about unity, unifying everyone.
But that is love your brother, like he said. He said it right. If you treat everyone that way, you will have that. He was saying the same thing.
Okay.
He was really saying the same thing. He couldn't understand. He had to say it on 1 foot. He only had made a short statement. So if you love everybody, which means you'll have unity with everybody, right?
Yeah.
If everybody would love each other, they would really love their neighbor as if they love themselves, right? V'ahavta l'recha kamocha, right? Love my neighbor. I have to love my friend as if I love myself. And I want to take care of myself, and I want to make sure I have everything that I have to make sure my friend has everything also. If we all live that way, wow. Wow, we would mamish be living.
It's true that if you don't love yourself, you can't love someone else.
I guess
to the inside.
Right.
One person.
Right, that's where Rabbi Nachman writes in Torah Reish Pei Beis, you have to also dan yourself l'kaf schus. Right, that's a chiddush, right? You have to dan yourself l'kaf schus. In other words, don't only judge everyone else favorably, but judge yourself favorably. Judge yourself, because if you start judging yourself favorably in that way, then you could look at others in a favorable way also. But if a person doesn't understand that he can judge himself in a favorable way, so then if I'm not judging myself favorably, how can I judge someone else favorably?
You can't.
Exactly.
So love yourself so you can love all others.
It's one of the same. You really say it's really one of the same. It's one of the same.
But everybody brings up the question, but what if I don't love myself? I mean, it's like...
So then Rabbi Nachman says you have to find good points in yourself. And you have to focus on the good points, all the good points. And then the Yetzer will tell you, well, really, they're not so good. Right, I'll pat myself on the back about some nice point that I have. I have an akuda taiva, right? And the Yetzer will tell me, well, was it really that good? Right? Was it really that good? Right? And I'll say, yes, it was that good. Yes, it was that good. And I didn't ask you. Tell the Yetzer, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you for your opinion.
If I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
As my father's Alzheimer's Shayosa said, no comments from the peanut gallery. Have you heard that expression? Right, no comments from the peanut gallery. Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Anyway, Bechinas Kol HaGoyim Ka'ayin Negdoi Me'efes V'tzoyu Nechshavu Loi. So in other words, really, when we have our unity, the Goyim, they're nothing. I don't care how many, they're mamish efes, v'toyu, mamish nothing. Nechshavu loi, ki ha'akam ein bechinas alma de peruda. Here, this is the point. This is the point brought from the Zohar. Rav Nassan's bringing us, you want to talk about, we learned Zohar, right? Here, this is a statement from the Zohar right here, right? Ki ha'akam ein bechinas alma de peruda. Because all of the Goyim, the nations of the world, are from the world of separation. Alma de peruda. Separation. They're not unified. They're all separate. They're a lot in number, but they're all separate numbers. So therefore the numbers aren't joined together. You don't join those numbers to build with the numbers. You can't build with those numbers because they're not together. They're the Alma de Peruda. Amazing idea, right? So in other words, yes, they have a lot of numbers. You'll say, what do you mean? You have less numbers, so our numbers are much more. No, but you're all separate, Alma de Peruda, so your numbers don't get counted and multiplied like our numbers get multiplied, because we have unity. That's why it's so important, the unity. It's oh, yeah. Ve'ein lahem shum yichud v'tzei, what?
That's why we lost the second temple.
Yeah, ve'ein lahem shum yichud, because they have no unity v'tzeiruf, and they can't be joined together. You can't make these. You can't do this building. There's no tzirufim when it comes to them because they're from the Alma de Peruda. Balkanim Nikraim Nafshes rabbis, like we said by Esav yesterday. Esav was a nafshe, sheish nafshe. He had 6 souls, but it was plural. It was plural because each the goyim, they're all plural. One guy, 2 guys. So now that's the two goyim. They're plural. But when I have 2 Jews, I'm still considered nefesh echad. Aval Yisrael goy echad. But like we say on Shabbos, right? What we say on Shabbos by Mincha? Ata echad, b'shimcha echad, mi kiyamcha goy, right? Mi kiyamcha Yisrael goy echad b'aretz. Right? Goy echad b'aretz. That's what we're saying. In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is one. We are one with the Rebbe Yisrael, right? Because we learned the other day, why Ayraisa Kutchabricha v'Yisrael Kulei Chod, right? Kutchabricha Ayraisa v'Yisrael Kulei. Any way you want to do it, anyway, it doesn't matter which order you want to say. You want to say Yisrael, Kutchabricha Ayraisa, Yisrael. Either way, you can make that combination. It doesn't matter because they're all the same. We're all the same. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is one with Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael, the Jewish nation, is one with the Torah. Right, was one with the Torah. The Torah is one with the Jewish people, one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and so on and so forth. Right, so on and so forth. Kol ma shehem misrabim, heim misyachdin mitzofim b'tzirufim harbe mioid. Because the more we add us together, we come with these magnificent numbers, these exponential numbers. V'nichlolin yoyse b'mekar ha'achdos, and we come together. We're included together in the makar, in the foundation. Again, what were the adonim? The foundation, the makar ha'achdos. That's the foundation of achdos, and that's how the Mishkan stood. It stood because it was the makar ha'achdos. Shesham makar ha'chayim. That's the source of life. That's our source of life. We have life when we are one, when we are unified. We have life. Ki imcha mikar hachayim. Ki imcha mikar hachayim. You are mamish to us the source of life, and the source of life is what? Achdos. And that's why there's so much problems out there. The other side's trying so much to separate us because the other side knows he's going to lose. He's going to lose. All the nations are going to lose if we're unified. So they'll do anything. They'll poke at us any way they can to just make any kind of separation. And they'll make us disparage one another. And all these different things. Who needs it? Who needs it? This is our secret. We have to go to the Knesset and read this to the Knesset. Well, guys, if you want to win, if you really want to win, you really want to take over, you really want to be successful, this is the only answer. This is the answer.
Right. So, but they are a reflection of where we are.
Yes.
Which means when we come together as one,
of course,
then we will see them
exactly
seeing us as one.
Exactly. But we have to mamish take this to heart. This idea of the achdos, right? We have to take this to heart. It's so important. You want to say something? No?
I got to run.
Oh, you have to go. Okay. Okay, so go date. Okay. And therefore they're saved. And therefore they're saved from the Sitra D'Maisa. Therefore we're spared. We're spared from the side of death. We're spared from the Sitra D'Maisa. They won't have the plague. They won't be troubled by that plague when we're counted, because we're not counting Jews. We're counting the money. And Torah says to us, you give your shekel, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to count the money, not the Jew. And he'll know how many Jews there were based on the money, but we're not going to count the Jew himself. And therefore you'll be spared from the plague. Because again, when we have unity, that's a Sam Chayim. That's a potion of life. Ki ein hariboy shel ha'akam, because there's no such a thing as a riboy. There's no such a thing as a calculation, as a number when it comes to the akam. Yes, they have their numbers, but they're all separate. And this is the point that we have to really understand why we're different than any other nation in the world. And we're not supposed to be like all the other nations in the world. We are separate by ourselves. We are not supposed to be like everyone else. Instead of looking around, we go around the world helping everybody else. There are Jews here that don't have what to eat. And we're giving money to all these other places. For what? Would they give us anything?
Well, we're doing chesed as a nation.
Chesed as a nation. We sent when Turkey had the earthquake there, right? So we sent our beautiful people over there to them, and what they do? They threatened their lives. They threatened. We came over there. They had to come back because their own lives were at stake because the Turks were trying to kill them. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? They don't want us. So why do I have to be their friends? Why? Why should I befriend them? Where's the big America? Why can't America go help the Turks? Why didn't America send anyone? They didn't send anyone. Why didn't they send people to help them? Why do we have to send them? How many people are we in already? We can use that thing against them, right? Hey, look, how many people do we have? How can we send it? We need our people here to take care of us. You guys have so many people. India, go send people over there. You have billions of people. Go send some people.
But they don't have more than us. That's why we send them.
I understand. So let's use it against them. Use it, turn it around. You're saying, no, when it's good, you do what's good for you. You understand? Amongst us, we're many, 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 many. But the world looks at us that we're not so many, right? That we're so few, right? So let's use it against them. Why should we have to send? Why India? Why don't you send? We could delegate. Why don't we delegate? We should delegate. Hey, listen, India, you got so many people, send. China, go send some people. Russia, go send some. America, Canada, go send some people. England, go send people. Come on, why we have to send people? Flip it around.
Pretty strongly about that. You feel very strongly about that.
When we send our people and they try to kill our soldiers that are coming there to help them, how should I feel any different?
Well, not all the nations try to kill us when we go help them.
I understand, but I'm just using the last example when they had the thing. So we had to come back. They went there with love and they wanted to help people. And that's all they were trying to do. That's all they were trying to do. They wanted to help people. They were such good, kind-hearted people. They went to help them. And their lives come at stake. They can't protect them? Why didn't the Turks have their military, if they're such a bunch of idiots, they can't do their work themselves, so at least send their military to protect our soldiers while we're doing whatever work we're supposed to be doing, rescue work.
So does Rabbi Nachman say we should only focus on our nation?
I didn't say that. No. I'm saying like this. If they would appreciate us and protect us, that's one thing. But we're going to send our people there, and their lives are at risk. For what should I do that?
Well, they went and they left, though, right? So.
And don't we always say that charity begins at home?
Is that what Nachman says?
Yeah, isn't that
the Torah says?
Torah says that. Torah says charity begins at home.
Start with your.
If you have your own family that needs money, you have to give your family money, right? And then if not your family, then the people in your community, in your city that need money, right? And then the Torah institutions then go to the Torah institutions, and then go to the other. And then if you have enough, you can go give money outside. There's rules on how you do all of these things.
Right.
All right. Now, bechinas v'layeh b'hem negev v'koy daisem ki ein hariboy shalakam yochel is gabel amini Yisrael shu ma'at negdam. Because the main thing is when we say no, is they are so many, but when we are together and we use the riboy abatim, that beautiful calculation, we outnumber them. We outnumber them in an exponential way. They can't come close to us. Our number is so great. You understand? This is W. Is this amazing? We become so strong. Our numbers are so strong. Because when we give the shkolim that are given, what are they given? Because they're given to be the batei tefillah. So anytime we give money to a shul, anytime we give money to a shul and we want to be part of the shul, to make a place where other Jews can come in, to make these beautiful numbers, that's a beautiful thing. Right? Like when we gave the money to the Mishkan, it was such a beautiful thing. When we give money to a base tefillah, to a shul, and give you money to Shira David, right? Right? Send your checks in, please, to Shira David. What a beautiful shul that practices this very thing. Every Jew is welcome over here. Every Jew is loved in this situation, right? Every single Jew is loved here, right? No matter what they are, no matter what their background is, no matter what their religious observance is, no matter how they're dressed, it doesn't make a difference. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Mamish, we're living the Mashiach's place, right? This is a Mashiach will feel very comfortable here. Mashiach will feel comfortable here. Everyone can be themselves. No one is doing anything because they have to feel that they have to comply with somebody else and they have to be somebody I'm not, right? People like to be who they are. They feel and they express their own way. Again, when you're doing things in the right way, right? But everyone here they're coming in to do their own, Baruch Hashem. They are shkolim shenidu b'shvil batei atfila. V'al yedei zeh kol ribuyam shel ha'akom nispatlam. And then all of the big numbers of the Goyim are nullified. They're just nullified. There are no big numbers. They're little numbers. Because again, even though there'll be billions, right? There'll be billions of them, right? Because you have China and India, and then you have America, right? You add everyone together. So how many people would it be, would you say? Would you guess?
A few billion. I don't know.
Maybe 8, 9 billion? 8,
7
9
trillion.
No, in the world?
Not trillion.
Yeah, no?
No.
That's too many.
Billion.
Billion, no, right? Because
7 or 8 billion then.
7 or 8 billion, yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah, they say there's 50 million Arabs surrounding Israel.
50 million.
Just surrounding Israel.
That's it?
Not counting Asia and Africa.
But they say there's a billion of them around the whole world.
Yeah, around the world. But around the Middle East, there's 50 million. 60 million.
Huh? 60 million. 60
Did
million.
we count them with a Hetzi shekel?
Yeah, but again, when we have our achtas, they're just mevata. They're nothing. They become nothing. Their numbers are useless. They become useless. They become mamish useless. We saw it. We
see it over and over and over
We
again.
experience it. We need to have unity. You know, at any cost, we need unity.
I saw an interview with Hamas people in Gaza. Said when they shoot the missiles, the guy said, "What do you think? We're just idiots shooting missiles?" He says these are very precise. There's measured. They're going, and all of a sudden, when they get near the target, they just go somewhere else.
He said they can't understand
They
it.
can't understand
Oh, really?
the Hamas. They said they can't
funny.
understand it.
Our enemies know this
Know this.
best.
They
Our
know it.
enemies
They
know
know it.
this best. They know this best because they know what they're trying to do to us,
That's
and
why
they
they won't
see
let us on the Temple Mount. They don't want us to pray up there.
they don't let because they know.
Huh?
Rabbi Ritzko was telling a story
Yeah.
that he experienced that there was a guy he was watching a guard eat a ham sandwich.
Wow, where?
Huh? No, not Rabbi. He was watching a guard eating a ham sandwich, and he says, "They're not ready yet. We can take them now." The Arab said that.
Yeah. That's it. Mommy, that's true. But we're learning something even deeper than that. Even the guy is sitting there and eating his ham sandwich. If he loves every Jew, and every Jew loves him, we are ready. We are going to be ready. We are ready.
I may be wrong, but I'm feeling a bit hopeless about that.
Why?
I don't feel hopeless.
No.
feel hopeless.
You know, you said you want to give a message out. That's what you said you want to do. Give this message out. Unity at any cost. We need to have unity amongst Jews. We need to have unity amongst all Jews.
So what do we do when we see someone not having unity?
Love them, pray for them.
Daven for them. That's all we can
Pray
do.
for them. Ask
When
God
you
to help them.
when you see that specifically, when you get up there and you give your blessing, shalom, have that in mind. Like we said, when we take the tzitzis together, right? When we grab the tzitzis together, we can bring Jews back, right? We keep learning about that, right? So now when you're giving the blessing, it's such a powerful blessing. Why? Because what does Hashem say? You say the blessing, and Hashem said, I'll place my blessing on you.
Right.
V'samor
That's what
Shemei
we
Yisrael
say at the end.
v'ani.
We did our job,
V'samor
you did your job.
Shemei al b'nei Yisrael v'ani avarchem. And Hashem says, I will bless them. You go up there and do your thing, and Hashem says, I'll take care of the rest.
Right.
So the way you give that blessing, the more power you put in that blessing, and the more intent you have in that blessing, is the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to return the Mitzvah Hashem, and He'll give that blessing. And that's what we need. So that's why I keep thanking you for doing the blessing every day. You don't think, I'm telling you, it's so important, it's so beautiful, it's unbelievable.
I appreciate your help me get there.
Okay, because, now,
No, really,
ayin.
I mean, it's, my intention is growing every day.
Okay, Afis Negda. And that's how it is, and they have no power against us whatsoever. And this is really what we have to understand. So we finished now, Baruch Hashem, we finished Ches, and tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, will work on Tes, okay?
Beautiful.
Kol
Thank you.
Tuv, everyone.
Thank you.
Shkoyach.